Admiral Zorn'ak stood before the assembled Galactic Hegemony Council, his purple scales gleaming under the ceremonial lights. His 6 appendages were arranged in the traditional posture of dominance, a stance that hadn't been officially used in exactly 1,000 years. Esteemed representatives of the 742 civilized species, he announced, his vocal sac inflating dramatically. Today marks the end of the 1,000-year peace. The humans have left us no choice. The council chamber erupted in a cacophony of clicks, whistles, and electromagnetic pulses, the varied languages of approval from the assembled dignitaries. Commander Tarku fidgeted nervously at his intelligence console, his antennae twitching with anxiety. Unlike the others, he'd spent decades studying human history. He raised a trembling limb to request speaking privileges. "Speak, intelligence officer," rumbled Admiral Melvik, a massive gas giant native whose translucent body pulsed with bioluminescent confidence. "Most honored council," Tarku began, his voice quavering. "Perhaps we should reconsider. My research suggests humans have a concerning reputation when it comes to warfare." Admiral Melvik's body flashed with patterns that the translator rendered as laughter. What could these primates possibly know about war? They've barely left their solar system. "But sir, their entertainment broadcasts, enough." Zorn'ak interrupted. "The decision is made. The humans have depleted their world's resources and now threaten to expand. Preventative action is necessary." Tarku subsided, but continued frantically analyzing data on his screen. Nobody ever listened. Admiral Zorn'ak gestured with 2 of his upper limbs, and a holographic display of Earth appeared in the center of the chamber. "Our ultimatum is simple. The humans will submit to hegemony rule or face extinction. We've positioned our Armada at the edge of their solar system." Admiral Melvik pulsed smugly. "By my calculations, the humans will require at least 14 solar cycles to debate, panic, and ultimately capitulate." The message was transmitted. The council settled in for what they anticipated would be a lengthy human deliberation process. Exactly 7.4 minutes later, an alert chimed through the chamber. "Admirals," a technician announced, "we're receiving a response from Earth." Zorn'ak's head crest rose in surprise. "Already? Display it." The hologram shifted to show a small, sleek vessel leaving Earth orbit. "Just one ship. Alone." "There must be some mistake," Melvik burbled, his confidence glow dimming slightly. "Our sensors detect no other vessels being prepared. Just this single ship approaching our armada of 10,000 warcraft." Tarku's antennae went completely rigid. "Sir, the human vessel is broadcasting on all frequencies. They're calling their ship the Laughing Matter." "What does that mean?" Zorn'ak demanded. Tarku's compound eyes widened in horror. "I believe, Admiral, they think we're joking. Only one ship? Part 2, the human ship approaches the hegemony armada formed a glittering wall of destruction at the border of Earth's solar system. 10,000 warships arranged in the classical Doom's Embrace formation, a tactic that had broken the will of countless civilizations before any shots were fired. "Magnificent, isn't it?" Admiral Zorn'ak gestured at the tactical display. "The humans will see this and understand the futility of resistance." Meanwhile, aboard the lone human vessel, Captain Lyra Blackwood sipped her coffee and propped her boots on the command console. "Status report, Jax," she asked her first officer. Lieutenant Commander Jax Nairobi grinned. "The alien armada looks like a disco ball having a seizure. Their formation has more holes than my grandmother's favorite cheese." "Excellent," Blackwood nodded. "Let's say hello. Open all channels, and make sure the translation matrix includes the fun idioms." Back on the Hegemony command ship, communications officers recoiled from their stations. "Admiral, the humans are broadcasting." "Nonsense," reported a bewildered technician. They're sharing what appear to be jokes about our fleet formation and something called knock-knock exchanges. Tarku frantically combed through historical archives, his 3 hearts pounding. Sir, I've found something disturbing in human military records. During their World War II, a human commander responded to a surrender demand with just 2 words, nuts. Then they annihilated the opposing force. Admiral Melvik's gelatinous form rippled dismissively. Primitive historical anecdotes. Our fleet has conquered galaxies. But sir, the humans have a concept called psychological warfare, where the Armada follows MY strategy. Melvik interrupted, bioluminescent patterns flashing with irritation. A navigation officer suddenly bolted upright. Admiral. The human vessel has increased speed. They'll reach our position in. That can't be right. 3 minutes. Impossible. Zorn'ak's scales paled. No known propulsion system, they're broadcasting music now, another officer reported. Something called Flight of the Valkyries? Tarku's antennae drooped in horror as his data search completed. Admirals, I've discovered why they sent only 1 ship. Humans have a military doctrine called sending a message. It's not about the number of ships. It's about making a point. The tactical display updated as the tiny human vessel decelerated directly before the center of the massive alien formation. The laughing matter hung in space, impossibly small against the backdrop of 10,000 warships. Admiral Zorn'ak stared at the display, his confidence evaporating. Why aren't they afraid? Tarku whispered, that's what terrifies me, sir. According to my research on human expressions. They're having fun. Hashtag only 1 ship? Hashtag part 3, first contact disaster. Admiral Melvik pulsed forward, his translucent form now dominating the communication screen. Human vessel, his artificial voice boomed through the translator, I am Grand Admiral Melvik of the Galactic Hegemony. You face the combined might of 742 species. Your civilization will be assimilated. Resistance is, resistance is futile, assimilation, blah blah, Captain Blackwood interrupted, taking another sip of coffee. Listen, Jelly Boy, we've seen all the classics. Got anything original? The command deck fell silent. No species had ever interrupted a Grand Admiral's surrender demand. Zorn'ak hissed to his communication officer, display our planet cracker cannons. Show them what real power looks like. The transmission shifted to showcase the hegemony's fearsome weapons, planet-destroying technology that had brought empires to their knees. Captain Blackwood yawned. Cute pop guns. Hey Jax, remind me to show them our actual weapons later? When we're done having fun? Tarku burst onto the command deck, waving data tablets frantically. Admirals. Human military history shows they never send inadequate forces. This ship must have capabilities we don't understand. Silence. Zorn'ak ordered. Fire warning shots. Show them our precision. 3 destroyer-class vessels launched energy bolts aimed to miss the human ship by calculated millimeters, a traditional intimidation tactic. The laughing matter simply wasn't there when the shots arrived. It had moved with impossible speed, now somehow behind the firing vessels. How did they? Admiral Melvik's question was cut short as strange sounds flooded every communication channel. Human music. Images. Something called memes. What is a rickroll? Demanded a confused tactical officer. Across the Armada, ships began reporting system anomalies. Navigation errors. Power fluctuations. Weapons failing to respond. Sir. A technician's voice cracked with panic. Our security protocols are being bypassed. The humans have been inside our systems for hours? Tarku collapsed into a seated position, antennae completely limp. They knew our technology before we arrived. They've been playing with us. Melvik's bioluminescent patterns flashed chaotic panic signals. Impossible. No species could penetrate hegemony security. On screen, Captain Blackwood propped her chin on her hand. Having technical difficulties? Our tech team left you a few surprises. Nothing harmful. Yet. The first warship suddenly went dark, all systems offline. Then another. And another. Full attack. Melvik's translucent form pulsated with fury and fear. All vessels, fire everything. As 10,000 ships attempted to fire their weapons, the laughing matter broadcast one final message on all frequencies: now that's just rude. Hashtag only one ship? Hashtag part 4, the laughing matter. As 10,000 hegemony warships attempted to fire, the laughing matter split open like a blooming flower. Hundreds of tiny objects, each no larger than a human hand, swarmed outward in a perfect defensive sphere. What are those? Zorn'ak demanded, scales flaring in alarm. Autonomous combat drones, whispered Tarku, now resigned to the inevitable. Human technology. Throughout the fleet, weapon systems locked up completely. Propulsion died. Life support remained operational, a mercy. On the main view screen, Captain Blackwood's smile was almost sympathetic. Almost. So here are my terms, she said, examining her fingernails casually. The Galactic Hegemony will return to their territories. A new peace treaty will be signed. And Earth will take a seat on your council. Simple, really. Admiral Melvik pulsed with rage. We will never. His transmission cut off as his ship's systems failed entirely. Sorry about that, Captain Blackwood continued. Admiral Jelly seemed upset. Perhaps someone more reasonable would like to negotiate? Tarku stepped forward, antennae fully extended in the posture of complete surrender. Captain, if I may. How did humans become so advanced? Our intelligence suggested your species was confined to one system. Blackwood laughed. Oh, that was by choice. We've known about the hegemony for centuries. Your observation satellites aren't nearly as stealthy as you think. But why pretend to be less advanced? Strategic advantage. Plus, it's amusing. She shrugged. Consider the laughing matter a test run, our equivalent of sending a child to evaluate your capabilities. A child? Zorn'ak's voice was barely audible. Figure of speech, Blackwood clarified. Though our actual defense grid might give you perspective. She pressed a button, and the tactical display updated. Thousands of stealth platforms decloaked throughout the solar system, a defensive network that had surrounded the alien fleet since before they arrived. This entire time. Tarku realized aloud, we were the ones being surrounded. Bingo. Blackwood pointed finger guns at the screen. Someone give that alien a prize. Within hours, the surrender was complete. The Hegemony Council, now with human representatives present, reinstated the peace treaty, with substantial revisions. Tarku, promoted to chief xenoanthropologist, addressed the humbled council. Humans didn't just study warfare, they perfected it, then moved beyond it. They developed peace through overwhelming strength. The laughing matter was aptly named because to humans, our threat was literally a joke. As the new treaty was signed, Captain Blackwood whispered to Admiral Zorn'ak, next time you want to meet humans, just send an invitation. We make much better friends than enemies. Admiral Melvik, demoted to janitor 3rd class, glumly swept the floor as the council adjourned. The 1,000-year peace was back in effect. Except this time, humans were in charge.